choose the correct answer. If two complementary angles are equal in measure, then measure of each one of them equal what? What about complementary angles? Complementary angles is meaning sum of two angles equal 90 degree. The type of two angles will be acutes. Then the first angle and second angle will be equal because he tell us two equals. Complementary angles here are equal in the measure. The two complementary angles are equal in measure. Then the measure of each one here it will be 90 divided by 2, it will be 45 degree. And the measure of each one of them equal 40 degree. Choose 40 degree. Question number 2. Number 2 is axis of symmetry of a line segment is perpendicular it from its point. If we have line segment AB and the straight line Y was perpendicular or line symmetry of AB, then Y will be perpendicular to line segment AB and divide it into equal parts. In this point we call it the midpoint. Then we must choose the first solution perpendicular to it from its midpoint. Question number 3. If L1, L2, L3 are straight lines in the same plane, if L1 perpendicular to L3, we have here, it's the first straight line, L1 perpendicular to L3, and L2 perpendicular to L3, then L1 will parallel to L2, straight line L1 will parallel to straight line L2. Okay, next question number 4. Triangle APC congruent, another triangle LMN, then PC will be congruent to BC congruent to MN. Okay, next question. Number 5. In the opposite figure, we want to find the value of x. We have straight line and two supplementary angles, some of them equal 180, and they give us this angle was the measure of its 60 degree and this angle was 3x. We know 3x plus 60 equal 180. Then 3x will be 180 subtract by 60. Then 3x will be equal 180 subtract by 60 will be 120, and then we can divide it by the coefficient 3 here, then x will be equal 40 degree. The measure of x here it will be 40 degree. Next question complete. Number 1. Measure of angle A equal 120 degree, then the measure of reflex angle A will be 360 subtracted by 120. 6 minus 2 equal 4 and 3 minus 1 equal 2. The result will be 240. It's the reflex angle. Next question number 2. If straight line intersect two parallel straight line, then each two space are supplementary. We have here straight line cut two straight line with parallel. Then he asked about two insides angle in the same side are supplementary. Then each two angles in the same each included angles in the same each angle in the same direction will be or are supplementary. Okay, then each two included angles or insides angles, each two insides angles in the same direction are supplementary, such that measure of angle B plus measure of angle B it will be 180. Supplementary, it's meaning sum of them it will be 180. Then the straight line, if the straight line intersected two parallel side straight line, then each two inside angles in the same direction are supplementary. Question number 3. straight line that perpendicular to one of two parallel straight line in the same plane is perpendicular to other. If we have two straight line parallel here, and we have straight line was perpendicular to each one of them, then the straight line will be perpendicular to the second straight line. Okay, again, the straight line that is perpendicular to one of two parallel straight lines in the same plane is perpendicular to other. Write this word, perpendicular. Perpendicular to other. Okay, perpendicular to the other. Question number 4. Two straight lines are congruent if two sides are and angles, included angles of one triangle, are congruent to corresponding parts the other triangle. Okay, we have two triangles here. Two triangles will be congruent if two sides and included angles between them. If two sides and included angles between them of one triangle are congruent to corresponding parts in the other triangle. We have two sides and included angles between them. Again, it's the first condition about congruent to two triangles. Two triangles are congruent if two sides and included angles of one triangle here congruent to the corresponding parts in the other triangle. Next question here. Look at with me about next example. We have question number 5. The sum of measure of accumulative angles at a point equal 360. 360. It's a cumulative angle such that a lot of angles here accumulative at the one point, then the measure sum of them equals 360. Next question here. Letter E. We have two congruent triangle. Mention the region of congruent of two triangles here. We have two triangles and you won't find the two condition. I will try it. The condition about congruent. It's the third condition. We have three sides here about first triangle A, B, C. We have the figure ABCD. The first triangle ABD, congruent triangle CBD. Why? And we have two triangles. Triangle first ABD, congruent triangle CBD. Again ABD congruent to CBD because we have EP was equal CB and AD equal CD, and EP is a common side between them. Then two triangle here will be congruent. Then the two triangle here will be what? Congruent. Okay, and then you would find measure of angles what? Measure of angle APC. You want to find the measure of this angle. He give us in the example measure of angle D was 50 and measure of angle A was 110. Then measure of angle C will be equal 110, and then we can find the measure of angle CPD, this angle here, measure of it equal measure of angle APD, okay, equal 180 subtract 110 plus 50. The result will be 180 subtract the sum of them 160. The result will be 20 degree. Okay, it's the measure of angle here CBD, but he won't find the measure of what? He won't find the measure of angles APC BC, these angles. We can find the measure of this angle by 20 plus 20, because DB bisects angle B to equality angles. The measure of angle, you want to find measure of angle what? P or EPC. It will be 20 plus, or 20 times 2, it will be 40 degrees. The result here will be 40 degree. Okay, understood this example? Last one here. In this opposite figure, we have straight line here and straight line here, and the ray. He give us two straight line here with parallel. They are parallel. Okay, pay attention with me again. I will draw the figure here. Ray parallel to line segment here, and again draw ray here parallel to this. We have A, B, C, D, and here E. Okay, we have straight line AB parallel to CD, and DE was parallel to BC, and he give us the angles here equals 70 degree, and then he want to find the measure of angle C and angle D. Okay, we can find this by using the properties about two straight line parallel and third cut of them, then two inside included angle between two straight line and the third straight line here, it will be supplementary, sum of them equal 180. Okay, such that AP parallel to BC and straight line CB, transfer of them or cut of them, then measure of angle C plus measure of angle B equal 180. Okay, we called it what? Two angles supplementary, sum of them equal 180 degree. Then measure of angle C equal 108 subtract by 70 equal 110 degree, and then such that CP was parallel to, such that CP parallel to CP parallel to DE, and DC transfer of them or cut of them. Then measure of angle C will be equal measure of angle D. We called it what? Alternate angle. Okay, we called it what? Alternate angles. Then the measure of angles here, he wanted measure of angle D will be equal 110 degree.